Welcome to Thursday. It's July 6, 2023. You're doing with the podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. Well, another beautiful shot of mammatus clouds on the backside of a thunderstorm there in Pine Bluffs. Thunderstorm activity is going to be a bit more common across the region over the next couple of days as temperatures are going to start to slowly warm up east of the divide. But the headline there, weather divided. What I mean by that is there is going to be a huge difference, like there was yesterday, in the weather, depending on where you live. So we've got people all over listening and watching this podcast, and we've got a lot of people on the western side of the Continental Divide, where the weather is going to be much warmer, much sunnier, and for the most part drier. And then areas east of the Continental Divide, where it's soupy and it feels and looks like Seattle out there. And there is going to be a really big difference where the weather is going to be and how it behaves based on location. Simply put, if you have a big mountain range to your east, you're going to have a lot more sun and warmer conditions. If you have mountain ranges to your west, you're going to be in the soup here for a little bit longer. Cool, moist air continues to be pushed up along the Front Range and the plains east of the Front Range. So that'll keep temperatures well below average, and that's where the activity is going to be with the showers and thunderstorms. Much warmer, drier air resides on the western slopes. And that will continue until we finally see monsoonal moisture come in later this month and increase that thunderstorm coverage. But right now, there's not a lot going on. Thunderstorms will be possible over the next few days, again, skewing to the eastern areas. Now, we do see all areas warming up Sunday into early next week. However, it may not be a persistent heat, at least east of the mountains. But west of the mountains, it will. And we'll show you that as the long-term outlook does put the heat in the far southwest and the far western parts of the western United States. But along and east of the divide, it could be a situation where cool air has easy access out of Canada. This morning's satellite photo shows a cluster of thunderstorms over the panhandles, across portions of Kansas, moving out of southeast Colorado. The blue here, you see this shading of blue? These are stratus clouds. Upslope wind conditions from the east, pushing cool, moist air up against the Front Range and the high divide. And that is going to be the high plains, rather. And that's going to cause low clouds, fog, drizzle this morning. But notice, we don't have any blue over here at all. Drier, more desert-controlled air is along the western slope. So the area that is going to be looking at a cloudy, soupy start to the day will be in the same areas that had it yesterday. And the 500 millibar chart really showing what's going on. We have this hot high pressure down here in the far southwest, but look at this low up here in Hudson Bay. This is a really strong system, and as you'll see on the maps here, it wants to stick around. The air is turning counterclockwise around this low. So winds aloft are coming into areas of the central United States right out of north central Canada. And it's July. And the heat right here is coming up from the southwest. So the direction of the heat is coming up into the western slope out of the deserts of Mexico into the west, far west. Well, just along and east of the divide, we have a dominant flow from the north-northwest. So really, there's a big contrast over a short distance, and it happens to be right along the Continental Divide. And if you look at those winds aloft, there they are. Now at the surface, the winds are coming in from the east-southeast. And so cold air aloft, winds from the east-southeast results in that soupy area right here along the divide. And if you look at temperatures today, again, relative to average, temperatures are still going to be far below average. There were areas yesterday that were more than 30 degrees below their seasonal average. Scottsbluff, for example, average high yesterday was 90. It only got to 60. So you're talking about a really big difference there. Now, so the thunderstorm activity is going to be a concern today. We will start to see the sun break through some of the clouds, allowing a little bit of heating. And so you can see the delineation there with the thunderstorm threat in the same cool, moist air conditions. So basically, once conditions warm up, we are going to see some severe weather. We have an enhanced area there in eastern Colorado and southwestern Kansas, and strong thunderstorms eastern Wyoming, western South Dakota, western Nebraska, But once you get on the western slope, not much going on other than a few isolated thunderstorms. And this is where the thunderstorm action is going to be by mid to late afternoon and evening. So this is where we expect showers and thunderstorms to be. And some of these may not fire up until really late in the day. It may not be till late afternoon or evening or early tonight before that happens. And this is at midnight. So you can see midnight tonight, those thunderstorms get a late start this afternoon. They continue into the nighttime hours before heading out into the plains. These are the temperatures forecasted by late Friday afternoon. Again, very cool out on the plains and backed up against the divide with the warmer conditions west. There are your thunderstorm chances for Friday. Again, in the same locations, basically, a bit more out here into the northern plains in the Dakotas and Minnesota. And there is a threat of some strong thunderstorms directed more to the southeast Friday afternoon and evening. And this is what it looks like for Saturday, firing up again in the same locations. And Saturday, there's going to be the risk again in the same areas for heavy afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms along and east of the divide. Now by Sunday, notice the high pressure ridge bulges up a little bit, just a little bit. But the clockwise flow around the high will bring in some desert air further north into the region. So by Sunday into Monday, we're going to start to see temperatures warm up. But look up into Hudson Bay here. That low is still there. And that low is like a cold pump. It's still going to be able to direct northwest winds aloft into the nation's midsection. So what that will do is it'll keep the cool air here while the very hot to warm air is going to be here. And you know, we live right in the middle, right in between these two different air masses. So that makes it a little bit tricky. These are the temperature anomalies by late Monday, so starting to warm up a little bit. This is by Thursday. The high retrogrades to the west, retrograding meaning kind of going against the natural west to east flow. When that happens, the high's right over Arizona. So you're going to get a bubble of heat right here. So Arizona, back into Nevada, California, you're going to see some really hot weather come into the region here. But the Hudson Bay low is still there. So we still have that contrast right here with the heat coming into the southwestern United States. This means a lot of the central and eastern parts of the U.S. going to really not have any heat at all here over the next 7 to 10 days. The heat's going to be here in the southwestern United States. These are temperature anomalies by next Thursday. Look familiar? That Hudson Bay low may very well send cool air along the east slopes, but you can see the heat here, right here. So a really big contrast. That's why it's a tail of the divide. Where you are in the divide will really dictate where your weather's going. So hey, if you want to cool off, head east. If you want to heat up, head west. That's how it's going to go here over the next 5 to 7 days. Have yourself a good Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.